It was a regular, normal audition for a movie, nothing crazy. Just told me, you do this scene. Did the audition, I came back, I did a Zoom call. That was the first time I really did a Zoom call. And it was interesting. I didn't see nobody's face. I saw one person's face with 30 other people in the call. And I was like, okay, what do they want me to do? And they were like, oh, I had to cry. So my audition, I cried. Like, I really shed tears, real tears. And I got the call back, and I shed tears on the Zoom call. Like, normal, full, natural tears. And they're like, you got it. Like, on the Zoom call, I'm in my room on my desk, and they're like, hey, congrats, you got it. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. And I didn't know who I was working with at the time, and I just knew it was a movie. And then they told me it was Chadwick. I was like, Black Panther? I was like, no way.
I went from condos to Pop's house, on calls, now bus routes.
What up, it's your boy Paul P. I serve God, I'm not God. This is just my opinion, and welcome to another episode of the Nothing Something Podcast. So today, we got a guest who have began his acting career at a very early age. Man, he here to stay. He did his thing on the series Shamless, married, 21 Bridges? What? And you better believe it when I say he is just getting started. We have the one and only Christian Isaiah. What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Man, everything good.
Yes, I'm good.
So how was your day so far, man? I mean, you in beautiful LA. You get what I'm saying?
It's a little rainy today, but we good.
Yeah. I mean, it's rainy. We do need it though too.
Yes, we definitely did need it.
Sure. Because we don't really get too much rain.
Not at all.
We're a little spoiled out here in LA.
Yeah.
So
it's new.
Yeah. That's what's up. So I'm glad you're here to tell your story and chop it up with me, Christian. Here on the Nothing to Something podcast, we like to start from the beginning. So with that being said, let's go back a little bit, even though you're very young. Man. That's what I want to get out there. You are probably the youngest I've interviewed so far when it come down to telling your story and everything like that. So going back a little bit, you were born in Virginia Beach, Virginia, right?
Yes, sir.
What was it like growing up there?
Man, cold. It was cold. I was always outside though. I was always doing something, playing with Nerf guns. It was cold. I was living regular life, going to school. I didn't really know about acting that much, It was just having fun with my friends, weekends, I'm going outside, doing normal kid stuff. But then one day I was at church. People passed her stuff over the radio talking about things in California, like acting stuff and acting gigs in Disney in California. So we heard about it, and maybe like a couple weeks afterwards, we booked a flight to California in 2013, I believe, to a thing called iPop, where you model, you sing. It's for everybody in entertainment. Model, sing, act, dance, all the above. And you go out there and you're just on a big stage, and they talk to you and say, hey, we'll give you a number, go out there, showcase your talent, and then you're going to go one-on-one with certain people. And yeah, literally, I was 6 at the time. I think I was 6 on the flight here. Yeah, I turned 6 on the flight here. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. And then 3 years after that, well, a little in between that, I got a show called Married, which is on FX a couple years ago. And then 3 years after that, I turned 9 years old, and I booked Shameless.
You said 9 years. It's like so young, man. So young, and doing some things that people have been trying to do their whole life, So that's a gift, Yes. That's talent, man. So when it coming on to your parents, you were raised by both parents.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. My mom and dad were in my life when I was younger, predominantly more with my mom. But yeah, I was always with my family. Yeah,
nice.
Family tied.
Okay, what about siblings? Brothers, sisters?
Oh, yes. On my mom's side, I'm just my only child, but on my dad, I got 10 siblings. So I'm always with
Wow.
him. Yeah.
so all together is what, 11?
11, including me, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm always with him. I'm chopping it up. My brother's in, wherever my brother is. My brother's in Texas right now. He does his car content, and that's how we get our love for cars and stuff. So
okay. Do y'all ever have like a reunion? Y'all get together, or is it like too difficult, to do that because it's so many?
They're all in Texas, honestly.
Okay.
So yeah, whenever I go out in Texas, I always show love to them.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, hey, I come from a big family too. I always say my grandparents had 17 kids.
17?
Yeah. And it's over 100 of us grandchildren. I think now we at 118, right?
That's wild.
I'm the oldest of all of them. You
Yeah.
know, under a little under 40. So I mean,
That's
we
awesome.
have a lot too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. You know, so growing up Christian, you started acting at like 4, right? Doing theater and like school plays and everything.
Yes, I was in the church doing plays, doing nothing but just in the church, just acting, and I loved it. I really had a love for it. Love dressing up, stuff like that, of that nature. So I think that's really where it came from. A lot of dance. I was always a moving body. I always did stuff at a young age. So I think that's really how it started, and just took the walk of faith to California, and we're here now.
I love hearing that too.
Yeah.
The walk of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I can already tell, you know, you got faith in, you know,
Yes.
in God, right?
100%.
You know, that's what I'm talking about,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's what I'm talking about. So when it come down to like these plays, do you remember any of these plays? Cause you was 4. I'm like, you was 4.
I was young.
Yeah.
We've been here for 11 years, so everything in Virginia kind of almost a blur.
Okay.
Because I wasn't there that long, but I was there during my early childhood. I really don't. I'm be honest. I really don't. I remember where the church was at,
Yeah.
next to an Italian restaurant, but I don't remember. That's all I really remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Now, people who have like watched Shameless, you know, they may believe you were like an active, you know, kid, but would you say you were like, you know, active, maybe a little troublemaker, or more laid back and chill? What was your
Are you
kind of like
saying-
personality as a kid?
You saying the character itself?
No, as a kid, when it come down
Oh.
to like who you were as a kid.
I was very active. I did
Okay.
everything. I did dancing, singing, football, basketball. I did all that as a kid. So I was always active. I was always running. Yeah, I was doing a lot when I was younger. When we first got to California, I was in everything. Taekwondo, to singing, to dancing. I was everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that showed, you know, your parents, your mom, and everyone that, hey, I think he could get into acting, you know, when you were so young?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I think it was really just me always being outgoing. I wasn't really afraid of the stage.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger. Like not even like secondhand embarrassment or stage fright or nothing like that. But I was just always wanting to be in front of a spotlight. And I feel like I had that eye for the spotlight, and I was always prepared for anything when I got on that stage. So I think that's really what it was. My mom was like, "Do you really want to do this?" And she asked me. I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I really do." And we came out here, and I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And just kept running, ripping and running.
Wow. So that was something that you yourself, you like, I want to do it.
Yes.
As well.
Mhm.
And that's big, man, you know, because, you know, for the people who may not know, you hear about a lot of these stories from like the childhood actors who,
Yes,
once they
yes.
turn 18, they was like, oh, I didn't really want to act. And that's why they kind of turned into the wrong
Yeah, it
directions
was
and
their
everything.
Parents. It was
you
their
know?
parents'
Yeah,
dream, and
pushing
that's
them.
What happens
Yeah.
most of the time, that the kids don't really want to do it, especially if kids start when they're months old.
Yeah.
It's like the parents see the money in, and they're like, all right, just go out there, send them little bassinet, whatever you call it, the little stroller,
Yeah.
and get paid, and we'll go home. But when you get older, they really like have the mind of their own and have their own say so on what they want to do and what they don't want to do.
Exactly.
And that's really a big thing for the parents to listen. So
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for my mom for like really sitting down and let me know like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes.
That's dope. That's real dope. So when it come down to it, do you like remember your very first audition?
Yes, I do. I remember it vividly, actually.
Yeah.
It was for Blackish.
Okay.
First season, first pilot. I was supposed to be for the twin that now plays for Miles Brown. I think that's his name.
Okay.
Way back when we first got here.
Wow. So when you did your first audition, like, was this something that were you nervous when you did the audition? Were you excited? What was like the feeling that came across? I mean, I know when you that young, it's you just, you know, you got the lights, you got the camera, you just like, wow, this is fun, right?
Yeah.
So was it feeling like that, or did you feel the nerves because you had your parents there? Did you take it seriously? What came across you?
I definitely feel like I took it seriously. I wasn't nervous. I don't think you get nerves or fright or scared, like those type of emotions as a child, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like, in my opinion, like, you just going in there and you having fun. And I didn't know how big the show was going to get either. So it was kind of like it's a trial, you know, test trial. We just got to see what goes on here. But I loved it.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I mean, and at that time you was what, about like 6, 7?
I was like, yeah, 5, 6, 7.
I know when people got to hear that, they're like, come on, man. How do you remember any of this? You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's dope. You was doing it though, you know, with your parents, you know, really getting behind you and everything. So that's dope. So getting into your acting career, as I said earlier, you started very early. For the people who don't remember, you had a reoccurring role on the FX series Married, right?
Yes.
But before we get into Married, how old were you when you first left Virginia Beach? Do you remember? 5.
And then, oh yeah, I was 5 when I did everything at iPop.
Okay.
And did audition stuff for here, found agents and managers, and then I went back to Virginia for probably like a couple of months, and then I came back out, and then I was 6, and then that's when we actually lived here. Everything was shipped from Virginia, and it was
Wow.
That was really the start of it.
So it was over after that. After that, like, it was never no turning back.
Nah, no turning back.
Wow.
Yeah, just kept going.
Yeah.
Stayed here.
Do you remember what like part of LA you moved to when you first came out here? Like,
Yes, Burbank in
Burbank.
an apartment complex called Avalon. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember that, yep.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. So now getting back to Married, what was it like playing on, you know, Married with you know, you had people like Regina Hall, Judy Greer, and Nat Faxon and others. What was it like playing on that show with so many incredible actors?
To be honest, it was fun. It felt like, I don't even know how to explain it. I had to work in a classroom, so it felt like class with cameras in it, and I had a script. But I really was just like, I was like the big bully. I was mocking the teacher. I was just doing all types of bad stuff in the classroom, and it was fun. I loved it.
Wow.
I was on set. I was like, wow, it really takes this long for them to do this, for them to do that. And I was on there for hours, and I was like, wow. That's really how it is. I love it.
Man, do you feel like the character became like natural for you to where it didn't feel like work? It didn't feel like you had to remember lines. It was just like, oh, I got this.
Yes. Many people actually ask me this too. They're like, so how do you remember lines and how do you not make it seem as choppy? And I'm like, as we're talking now, having a convo, it's just like that. You have to learn the lines so much to the point where you're just having a conversation. Yeah. It's not you reciting lines at all whatsoever.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. When it come down to like the amazing cast that was there around you, like,
Legendary.
did you understand who you was around? You know, I mean, I know you young, but you have legends around you, right?
I understood it, but I didn't understand to the point of, whoa, like, they really believed and saw something in me for them to book me, and all these people most definitely saw my tape, for sure. I didn't necessarily understand it at the level till I got to Shameless, and I realized, wow, like, I was really shocked when I got to Shameless. But with Married, I was still young, so I was like, I'm going on set. It's my first time on set. Super excited. I'm ready. I'm prepared.
Wow.
I'm very prepared for this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What would you say was the best part of like being on Married for you?
I'm going to most definitely say, I gotta think. I would say really, I've always learned things. Like as a child, I was always asking multiple questions. So I was on set asking them, what does this camera do? What does that camera do? Why we got different? Why we got to do this? Why we got to do that? But not in a way of this is taking too long, of just trying to be more educated in this field of work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At a very young age, I was always adamant on learning new things. Yeah.
That showed me that you was really, really into the craft of acting.
Yes.
It almost reminded me of that part on, I don't know if you ever saw the American Dream, the Jackson 5 story. And they had a part where Michael Jackson, he was probably about 12, 13, and he was in the studio with Berry Gordy, and he kept asking like what every button was on the machine. You know, his pops got a little mad, but he was like, "What is this? What is this?" Mm-hmm. It kind of reminded me of that. I don't think that you was trying to like be annoying. It's like I'm just so eager to learn and grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and that's how you become great.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So that's dope. You know, so yeah. So moving on around 2017 at only 10. You know, that's when you finally got the role of Liam Gallagher, right?
Yeah, Liam Gallagher. Yeah.
How did you get that opportunity?
Like a normal audition, they didn't really tell us what it was for. So it was, I didn't know it was a series regular. They said it was a guest star, and they called it, if I remember, it was Green Apple something dealing with an apple. So we're like, what is this? They showed it, the script. It was, I remember vividly. I went to my friend's house. I don't know if I'm talking too much, but I went to my friend's house. Yeah. And I came back to my house. We're in the hood of Chicago. And I was like, oh, we got almond milk. I drank almond milk at Todd's house, blah, 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 blah. Or whatever the character's name was that I went to. Okay. And they're like, oh, we don't have almond milk. And I was like, well, we need to get almond milk because it's good for this, that, and the third. And I was like, basically just going at it and stuff. And that was the first scene for it. And I remember it was like a 2-page scene. Audition, went in, did everything. I did the door, opened it, drunk milk. Like I was doing all the actions and the thing. They're like, hey, that was super good, amazing. I was so nervous. Yeah. But I was like, okay, I did it. Wow. Went to school the next day. Came back, school. I remember I was right next to the cafeteria. I walked down the hall, like at the area. Yeah. My mom was like, you booked it.
What? I
was like, okay. And then she was like, but it's not what you think it's for. She's like, this is series regular. Like, you're going to be on here for multiple seasons. I was like, what? Like, super shocked, super excited. And, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing,
10.
Man.
Yep.
Wow. Now, when you first got that role and your mom, she make sure you understand, now this is serious.
Yeah.
Like I know you're 10. I got to keep on saying that because, as an adult, you'll be like, okay, I feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Like, I got to make sure that I perform. But did any type of feeling come across with you being a 10-year-old? Like, okay, mom saying I got to make sure I'm ready, so I got to make sure I perform. Did anything like that come across you, or it was just like, hey, let me go and do what I do?
Honestly, I got on set. I'm not even the set part, but the dress rehearsal and dress and finding my set teacher, Ms. Laura, love her to death. But none of that really freaked me out till I walked in the doors of Warner Brothers and it was freezing cold. And I'm like, whoa. It felt like I was like, something's like, all right, it's real deal. Yeah. Walked in there, sat down in my chair. Saw William H. Mason. I was like, this guy is creepy. And I thought literally he had like scars. They're fake scars, of course, and all these tattoos. I was like, I thought you were supposed to be perfect. Like, my mom made sure I was lotioned up, not ashy, none of that. Yeah. I'm like, ain't no way. I was like, this guy must be like crazy or something the way they booked him. Like, he must be something else, like totally different.
Yeah.
But then I realized long down the line, like, it's all fake stuff. And the guy's amazing.
Yeah.
But that was my first real, like, okay, got on set. First scene, big, 5-6 page scene, took forever. I was eating forever. I'm not sure. You probably do acting or whatnot, but those scenes are huge. Yeah. That was my first, like, reality check of, got to do this every day.
So this was basically like a scene where you had to eat. And because you have to continue to record it over and over again, you got to keep eating until you get it right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, it got to be perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what really scared me. And luckily I had that much lines in that scene, but it was so much commotion. I was just like, whoa. Yeah. It was crazy to me. Like, you got to eat this time. You got to make sure you say your lines perfect where the camera's on you. They ain't going to do 5 other people got to get there close up and stuff of that nature. I was just like, wow, it's just shock to me. So I messed up on my lines. I was like, oh my goodness. Because I was like dead in the middle of the scene. So my line dead in the middle. So it's like, if everybody do good and I mess up, now you got to redo all that other stuff. And I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting these people's time. But they told me, they're like, hey, it's fine. You keep going. We're all messed up. So just keep going. Don't feel pressure. Just be normal. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Dope. So even though you were 10, you did feel, the responsibility to make sure you are doing a really good job.
100%. Because it's like, they can be like, hey, we're good enough. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need me. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me on the show. Yeah. And I feel like I needed to fulfill that part.
Nice.
I was ready for it.
Dope. Now most people, they may not really understand the life of like a child actor, and may want to ask, like, when it come down to like school and things like that, of course you can't really do normal school. Yeah. So did you do homeschool, and how did that work out?
No, when we first got here, I went to a private school in 2nd grade. I went to that school, and then about 3rd, 4th grade, I booked Shamless. So I never really was that person to be like, I have an audition, see you guys later. I have an audition. None of that nature. I was just going through school. They didn't know what I was doing. I leave. Oh, I got a doctor's appointment. Yeah. Then when I booked Shameless, everybody's like, did Christian move? Like, what's going on? My set teacher, she went, talked to my teachers. I got all my work ahead of the whole curricular for that year. Yeah. And then I just did my work with her every 3 hours. I had to do 3 hours of school, mandatory. 3 hours of school. So that's what most people don't know. Like, 3 hours of school after you work is no joke. Either 3 hours before or after you done working 3 hours. But your 3 hours got to get done.
Yeah.
And I made sure. But I used to ask so many questions because it was one teacher. And then when I got back, back middle school, it was bad because it was so many kids. I was overstimulated. So it was so many kids in the classroom. I'm like, I was more frustrated myself. Like, why isn't she answering my questions? Like, I have all these questions I need to answer, but I realized I had to wait because she's helping a million other kids that have the same question as me.
Wow.
So yeah, it was definitely like a reality check. Like, oh, it's not set school no more.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure like moms didn't play though, right? Like if you let's say if you got like a bad grade, a D or F, you know, did you feel that was gonna risk you being able to act? So did you feel like, okay, I got to make sure I get these good grades because if I don't, I'm not gonna get to do my thing as an actor?
Because the school got a write off on a thing that lets me let me act basically.
Okay.
So they have to write off and say he's cleared, this, that, and the third, and so I had to make sure my grades was up for sure.
Yeah.
My grades had to be up or I couldn't work, and that means I wasn't getting paid, and that means I couldn't go on set and do what I love to do.
Wow. See, and that's the thing that I think people need to realize, like as child actors, it's even harder for you guys than it is for adults because you got to worry about school, you know, you got your parents, you know, you got, you know, you still want to be young, and then you know now you got to act.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so many things you have to, you know, you have on your plate. You know, so people may think that it look fun and easy and, oh, I want to do it, you know, but somebody like you did it. So you can explain like, nah, this is work. It's real. It's not easy.
It's a job.
Yeah, yeah.
So like one time, like not necessarily hiatus, but I got to go back to school for I missed second grade all the way to fifth grade. I missed my first day of school.
Okay.
So when I got in middle school, I was like, I'm trying to go to my first day of school. They're like, all right, you can go. Went to my first day of school. Everybody's like, so where have you been? What's going on? I was like, hey, I got a job to do. Like, I'm at work, and they never believed me. I said, okay, you don't got to believe me, but I actually have a job, and I have to do school. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, this is a real thing. They didn't believe me. They're like, oh, you're working at a pool, swimming pool? I was like, no, I got a real job. Like, I'm going in 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm not leaving till 11. I got a real job.
Yeah, yeah.
But they didn't necessarily believe it till I got in high school, and everybody was like, old enough to watch the show, which I haven't just yet. But everybody's old enough to watch the show. They're like, oh, okay. So I see what you're doing.
Wow. So at one point in time, there was people that have watched your show when you didn't even watch it yet.
Yeah, when I got into middle school, most of the high schoolers and seniors were running up to me while I was eating lunch on the basketball court. Hey, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? And nobody else in my grade realized what I was doing or could even watch the show. So it's kind of them things where nobody had a phone, nobody had social media, because we're all still young, but I'm the only one that everybody else has seen.
And it's on Showtime.
And and Netflix, so it was super crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. Now let's get into Shameless a little bit. You know, when you first started and walked on that set, I want to go to the very beginning. Did you feel like you was ready when you like first started and everything? I know you say you had an instance where, you was filming for a while during an eating scene, but did you feel like, okay, I'm ready for this moment. I'm prepared for this moment. Let's go.
I felt prepared because funny enough, funny enough, if I don't remember, wasn't that the same scene I auditioned for? Yeah, that was the exact same scene I auditioned for. So I already went through it so many times. It was like the back of my hand. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I already got it. Like, I'm prepared. Yeah. But I was just shocked of what really goes down in preparation for scenes like this. But I was super prepared.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, the role that you played on Shameless was a role that was played by others before you, right?
Yes.
Now, did you feel any pressure when it come to playing that role to make sure that you perform at a high level? Because the audience may have expectations. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So did you feel anything from that, or you really didn't think about that at all?
I wasn't thinking of that. My mom told me, hey, you're going to replace people for this role, and it's a big role. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really know the size of how the audience would think about it. Yeah. So I wasn't thinking of that. I was just thinking, I'm replacing somebody. I got to do my best. Yeah. But when I got older, she was like, yeah, many people weren't too happy. Many people were very happy. And that was my first time really getting a big glimpse of what was really going on.
Yeah. I mean, and it showed you did your thing because, you know, most of the time people not ready for that, especially when it's a show they love. Shameless was a really big show.
Yeah.
So going on there to now replace someone else when people are, already they used to that person. Like, hold on, what are you doing to the show?
Mm-hmm.
So you had to like make sure that you was really dope.
Yes.
And it showed you was dope because opportunities kept coming, right?
Exactly.
So when did you feel like you fit? Like, okay, I'm fit. Everybody, they settled in. This is who I am. I'm playing this role. This role is mine, and they know I'm here to stay.
Season 9? Yeah, season 9 when I first went to Chicago.
Okay.
I was first in Chicago and we filmed our outdoor scenes, and that felt like, I was like probably like 12 maybe. And I felt like, I was like, okay, this is what it is. This is what we're going to do. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm fit. This is my role. I'm Liam. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's crazy. He's a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm like when I'm 12 years old, they was still telling me to go back. You can't follow us around. What you doing? Get back in the house. I'm like, you 12 years old? Like, I'm ready. Let's do this. With professionals and adults. Mm-hmm. That's what's up, man. It's a lot of young people who could look up to you because you really did it. And hey, I got a lot of respect for that. So that's dope. That's dope. Being on Shameless, where there's so many great actors. I mean, you can't name them all, but just to name a few, you got William Macy, Emma Rossum, Jeremy White, Shanola Hampton, the beautiful Jalen Barron, and so many more, right? And if I didn't name, someone, I'm sorry,
Exactly.
But what was it like for you now acting, with so many great actors on Shameless? Did you know any of these actors before you were on there, or it was just like another person to you?
Yes, the only person I really knew before then was oh my goodness, I'm going blank. Lord have mercy. The show Reba. I don't know why I'm going blank. I saw this man for 7 years of my life. Steve.
Okay.
Steve Howie. He was on Reba. And I remember watching Reba, I think back in Virginia, or when I early got here. So I really didn't know of him, but I knew he looks familiar. But I didn't really know anybody really else except for Mitch Macy when he did Fargo, but I used to see it on FX, like pop up. But I really didn't know like everyone on what they did before then. I just knew these are some big names in here, and I soaked up all the information they gave me. Like every time I used to, I remember this. Mitch Macy sat down with me and we did our lines because it was just me and him one-on-one scene, and he was like, "You breathe before you do your things." So say the line was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'd be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he was like, why are you doing that? Like, you don't do that when you normally talk. And I was like, I don't know. It's just, I'm breathing. Like, I don't know. He's like, well, breathe before, then, or after. Or just after you say your line, you can breathe, or just don't gasp. And I used to gasp and gasp. And he's like, why are you doing that? Like, there's no point in you doing that. He didn't tell me like that, like, quit doing it. But he was like, hey, like, just take that out and you'll be okay, Yeah.
Wow. Do you think that helped, like, when you started doing that moving forward?
1,000%, because it was like, it felt more natural.
Okay.
It definitely felt more natural. And then I definitely had like a speech coach or someone just to help me, like not an acting coach, but like a speech coach to help me really pronunciate my words better.
Yeah.
Because I probably like said a few words terrible, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to say, oh no, I don't need her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still young at the end of the day. There's so much for me to learn. They've been in the business for 15, 20 years already, and I'm only 12. Yeah. So I'm not going to just blow y'all off or nothing. So I said, okay.
They've been in the game longer than your age.
Yes.
Some
literally.
even double.
So I was like, okay. I was like, fine, yes.
Yeah.
They're like, you want an acting coach? I was like, yes. If this is what it takes for me to get better, perfect my craft, and to stay on this show, I'll do anything y'all need me to do. If y'all need me to go to acting lessons or something, I'll make sure I go. I'll be there.
Dope. That's what's up. A little off topic, who was it that you seen that it just blew your mind? As a young actor getting in the game and now being around so many professional actors who we see on movies and TV, who was that person that you was like, wow, I can't believe I'm standing next to this individual right here? Or if it's a couple.
Dang, I've met so many people. I would say The Rock. We were filming on the same stage, and I was doing work, and someone was like, whoa, who is that? It's like, that's The Rock. And I used to watch WWE when I was younger, so I knew who that was.
Yeah.
But now he was doing Jumanji, the first or second Jumanji at the time. So Kevin Hart, Jack Black, they were all on the stage, just walking around. I was like, hey, can I get a picture? And he's like, are you doing good at school? I was like, yes. And then my set teacher was like, yeah, you can get a picture. I was like, perfect. And then he saw me the next time. He was like, hey, keep doing your schoolwork, Christian. I was like, oh my goodness, he remembers my name. I was just so excited to see him. It was amazing. It was super fun.
That's dope. That's dope, man. You know, and like you said, WWE, that was big. You know,
Yeah.
you know, growing up and everything like that. Just to be real though, who did you like better, The Rock or Stone Cold? Come on, keep it real.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you
I can't do it. I can't do
How
it.
can you deny that stunner though? How can you deny that stunner?
Stone Cold.
Man,
Don't tell nobody.
You
but
know,
yeah.
the Rock is the man though.
He was the man, but
Stone Cold was on another level.
he was moving crazy.
He was the Michael Jordan.
He was moving crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he made me want a bald head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nah, yeah. Stone Cold was that guy. He was that guy. But they were all great. The Rock, you know, look at where he has went.
Yeah.
From WW, you know, F turned WWE,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, nah, that's what's up, man. I know that had to be incredible, you know, like you said, meeting him for the first time.
Super crazy. I had his action figure. I was doing stunts, throwing him all across my room, over things. So it was amazing to see somebody I really wouldn't necessarily say looked up to, but definitely watched on TV numerous times.
Yeah. Dope. You know, so going back to Shameless, do you have a story of something you could tell, something that happened that was like funny or crazy or cool, you know, while you was on the set of Shameless?
Yeah, I was more comfortable on Shameless at this time. It's probably later in the middle of the seasons, but we used to play pranks and stuff of that nature. Maybe like,
Okay.
dang, I got put in so many trash cans by Ethan and Jeremy. But like stuff like that, Nerf guns, playing basketball, just having fun. And did I get permission? I don't know what happened, but I put a fart, I bought this fart thing from Universal, and I put like this fart speaker. It's like a fart gun, and I put it under a seat. I think either on set or in the producer set, like on the seat. And I would just let it go off, and I give it to certain people, and we was just letting it go off, and everybody was laughing. It was super funny, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah. Wow. So it was a set where it was like a family.
Yeah, huge
Nobody was
family.
taking things too serious. Of
No.
course, people serious about their craft.
Yeah.
But it was fun and family.
Yeah, it was fun.
on the
Like, we
set.
got time to, be fun, but it was time to lock in. We're locked in serious. But, yeah, it was a huge family. Like, when I got on there, everybody welcomed me with open arms, and I just loved it.
Nice. That's what's up. Also, Christian, I heard on Shameless you were known for your shoe game. Is that just a rumor, or are you known for your shoe game?
I would say that. I mean,
Okay.
I've slowed down throughout the years.
Okay.
So she made me slow down for sure. I had like 30 pairs of shoes.
What was your preference when it came down to shoes?
No high tops. I did not.
Okay.
I didn't like nothing on my ankles at all. So
okay.
I had thousands of shoes. When I was younger, I was into shoes. So throughout Shameless, I just got shoes, grew out of them, got more, grew out of them, till now I was like, okay, I don't need that many shoes. I got some shoes. I got a lot of shoes now, but I was like, I can go to school and wear this instead of beating them up.
Yeah. Okay. What about like Jordans or
Yeah,
what's like? Okay,
Jordans,
Nikes.
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
Nike stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
I got black white forces. Got some. I got one pair of ones, Jordan ones, and then I got a couple dunks, Halloween dunks, De La Souls, What the Paws. Got some Jordan 4s, retros, of course, all retros. Dang, what else I got? Got Off-White 5s.
Mm.
Got some 2s. What else I got? I'm forgetting.
Oh yeah, you got a deep shoe game.
Yeah, I'm forgetting. What else I got? I got some other stuff in there.
Okay.
I got some other stuff. But when I was younger, though, I had every pair of shoes you can imagine. It was
Man.
crazy. But I never really wore that many because I was like, I wanted them to be pristine.
Yeah.
I never really rocked them that much. But
It was more like collectibles, you
yeah.
know.
But
and
now I
everything
got
like that.
quality over quantity. for
Okay,
sure.
got you. Dope. You know, Christian, one thing I like to ask, because at the end of the day, you're human, and you're very young, in a very professional adult world full of celebrities, so as a young kid, then now teenager, did you ever go through like any insecurities you could speak on, because in your generation, it's kids who deal with a lot of things, and they look up to individuals like you. So do you have anything that you dealt with, trying to get into acting and then acting, that it was difficult to get through?
I would say me being the smallest. I was always the smallest in my class. So it was kind of things of that nature. I was like, dang, like, am I going to fit in? Every time I leave, I'd be like, okay, what did I miss? And I went through a good amount of friend groups because people were like, not necessarily forgetting about me, but there was really nothing to talk about between them, Because I was working and they're doing school, so they're always around each other 24/7. And I'm on work with adults. I'm on stage with adults. So it was hard to get really into friend groups. And I realized not many people are worth it to be friends with because they're not talking about anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah. It was that just, you don't have to force yourself into friend groups. The friends will come to you. Like, you're always going to have some friends around that are really true to you.
Yeah. I mean, and that's good to point out because, you were really in a different world. You were in an adult world, so like you said, all the friends that you grew up with, like, they're doing other things.
Yeah.
They're in their child world. You're kind of partially in an adult world.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, I'm sure you got your parents grounding you, keeping you grounded and everything like that, right? But still, you're still a kid at the end of the day. So I know that had to be difficult just being in that world. And also, besides the other child actors, feeling kind of alone in that place.
Yeah.
Because most kids that you grew up with in family, they weren't doing what you were doing. So is that one of the things you felt like kind of lonely and like, man, I can't relate to nobody?
Yeah, I was, I remember I was at the lunch tables having a conversation, and they were talking about money. And they were saying, like, one kid was saying, you don't pay taxes. Taxes aren't real necessarily. One of them things. And I was like, why are they talking about taxes? Like, I went to the bank the other day and I almost cried when I saw how many taxes was took out my paycheck. But I didn't really necessarily tell them about that. I was like, yo, like, you're going to have to pay taxes. There's taxes on everything. What you got right now is a tax. The clothes you bought, there was taxes coming out of that, of stuff in that nature. You got to pay taxes at the end of the year, stuff of that. And they didn't really necessarily believe me. And it was just interesting because it was like, how can I talk to people about money and they're not really making money at the age of 12?
Yeah.
So it was definitely hard. I definitely, like, talked to seniors. Like, my freshman year, most of my friends were seniors or juniors. Yeah. I didn't really talk to anyone in my age group whatsoever.
Yeah, because what you were doing, your mind was on having adult-like conversation.
So
because of the world you in.
Yeah, my mom
and they on another level. They don't understand that yet, right?
Yeah, and they were talking about shoes and all the other stuff, and I was talking about, like, how to make my own pair of shoes, stuff of that nature, how to do other things to accumulate more money or have generational wealth. Wow. And they weren't on that mindset, I would say.
Yeah. Like, so how would you say you was able to get through that place of feeling insecure because, of being in that position in place where you felt like, man, I'm the only one in my age group here. How did you get through that?
I wouldn't say stooping down to their level or changing my personality, but I would say it was things of separating it. I wasn't going to try to make myself a child on set to feel like the kids at school, or I wasn't going to try to seem like a businessman to the kids at school, Yeah. So it was kind of just separating it. And I'm not going to say having two lives, but not making it seem like I'm boasting every day at school or acting like a child and messing up the set at work. So it was definitely difficult. Took a couple of years to really fit through a maneuver at school normally. But, yeah, like outside of school, I'm normal, calm, laid back, hang out with my friends. But at school, it's kind of like I'm like the same person, but I definitely talk more a lot. I definitely talk a lot more at school. Yeah,
I could tell you would be a really good, individual that a lot of new young child actors could look up to, because you hear so many. We hear a lot of the horror. In bad stories when it come down to it, right? But the things that you've been through, even with the insecurities, I could tell you are able to get through them. Yeah. So I think it'd be good, and I don't know if you're doing that already, but for a lot of the new child actors to, have someone like you to communicate and talk to, because you've been through it and you got through it, right? Yeah. That's dope. That's dope, man. So now getting back to Shameless, after wrapping up the first season, what was life like? Did life change? Because by then you did Married, you did Shameless, you did a season, so did you feel life change?
I wouldn't say life really changed because I was filming had probably like a couple of weeks break, and then I went back into it. I'm sorry. I went back into
You
it. So I didn't think life really changed of that nature. The only time life really changed on how filming was and what we were doing was during COVID.
Okay.
Because that was also difficult because it was first, schools are shutting down. How am I going to do the schoolwork? And then now it was like, oh, you're not going to set no more. So I'm sitting at home and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? Found video games, streamed a little bit, but it was that was different. And then we went back 2021 and no swabs. I know you remember the no swabs in the mask, the N94s.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I'm still young. I'm now in my teens or probably 13, but I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's for all our safety. We'll get through it. Just let's get back to work. But it was definitely different.
Wow.
It's definitely different.
So because of COVID, you weren't able to be like in that place to where now you're going out and people know who you are and everything like that after now doing, a full season of Shameless and everything. You didn't get to really experience that in the beginning because of COVID, right?
Exactly. It was like I experienced that when I was younger. Didn't know about it. Chicago, multiple supporters out in the hotels laying there for autographs. And I was like, I was young. Then it was like normal. COVID happened. It was like, what in the world is going on? Nothing was going on. Nothing was really happening. And I started live streaming, and of course that blew up because I'm always talking trash or something. So I did streaming on Mixer, which was way back when. That's now Facebook Gaming or something like that now. But then had like 400, 500 people on there following me, just watching me play video games. Didn't really socialize with the supporters that much. And then till like everything stopped with like the COVID and that wasn't really toxic stuff. Went back to school. Everybody knew what was going on. It was blowing up on TikTok. Every time I went out somewhere, I was taking pictures, and it was just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that time a little bit. So even though it was COVID, and it stopped, life and acting and everything, right? Mm-hmm. Was that like a really fun time for you now doing streaming and you have this following and you gaming, you doing what you love? Did you feel like, man, I act so much, I don't really get time to do this.
Yeah.
This is where I want to be right now. Did you feel that?
That's really what it was, because I was on video games, I think, till 6 o'clock, till 6 a.m. the next morning. Like, I used to never sleep. Yeah. I remember I used to wake up, I'm still in the game. We still in the game. That's when Warzone came out, so I was with my people, Sneak, KB, Roni. We was with all of them. And, Tashawn, yeah, we was always playing Warzone. That's when it first came out, so we was trying to figure out the game. And, yeah, we was just always on there. And I feel like a kid again, like, this is what it is. They play video games right after school. I had online school, hop on video games. Mom making me breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was It was amazing.
That's dope. If you think about it, for individuals like you who are so young and work so much, it was probably the best time for a lot of you because y'all didn't have to work. Like you said, you was able to be a kid again.
Yeah.
Something that was so difficult to be, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I would say it was, but I was in the work mode so heavy.
Okay.
To where it was like, when are we getting back to work? I'm ready. Like, I felt like we were sitting forever. It felt like 3 years while we was sitting for 6 months. Yeah. Because I was working, getting up every day. I used to get up early. I mean, like the first 2 weeks, I was like, all right, we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. And then we'll be back in 6 months till we're not finna work till next year. And it was just insane to me how I was always ready to work, and I was like, all right, I'll finally lay back and chill and just be calm and just wait it out.
Yeah. COVID was crazy, man. But at least you found that outlet. Mm-hmm. That you enjoyed at that time. I want to go back just a little bit. I wanted to just bring up and mention. You also had the honor to work with the late great Chad Boseman in 2019 on 21 Bridges, where you played the younger version of Chad's character. How did that come about? How did you get that opportunity, and what was it like working with Chad?
I think the early beginning, it was a regular, normal audition for a movie. Nothing crazy. It just told me you do this scene. Did the audition. I came back. I did a Zoom call. That was the first time I really did a Zoom call. And it was interesting. I didn't see nobody's face. I saw one person's face with 30 other people in the call, and I was like, okay, what do they want me to do? And they were like, oh, I had to cry. So my audition, I cried. Like, I really shed tears, real tears. And I got the call back, and I shed tears on the Zoom call. Like, normal, full, natural tears. And they're like, you got it. Like, on the Zoom call, I'm in my room on my desk, and they're like, hey, congrats, you got it. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. And I didn't know who I was working with at the time, and I just knew it was a movie. And then they told me it was Chadwick. I was like, Black Panther? I was like, no way. I was so happy. I was so stoked. But I didn't know I was working with him because I wasn't supposed to work with him at all. I was younger version. I didn't know he was going to be on set or none of that. And I got to set, and I saw somebody sitting down in the director's seat, and it was him. I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, it's him. It's Chadwick Boseman. And I sat down, and the first day I worked, I was in the church talking to him, chopping it up about cars because I love cars as well. And he was like, oh, I got these cars. I was this cars. I was like, okay, that's cool. When he was supposed to get back from the set, we were supposed to go karting at the premiere. But I never got to go to the premiere, and then, of course, he passed away. Yeah. But it was like stuff like that. He was a super cool, down-to-earth guy, and it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? And it was just wonderful. Yeah. I loved him. And then the second day I worked, I got criticism. He was telling me, hey, just do this a little different, do that, make sure you turn this way. I said, yes, sir, I got you. And then I guess he was super astonished or shocked that I followed every single thing he said, and I perfected it perfectly on what he said. He's like, good. He was like, I just wanted to see if you really follow directions. I was like, yes, sir, I got you. I'm gonna follow directions and stay on this set.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's one thing that you were able to experience that most people will not experience because, of course, he ended up passing away. So that's something that you could keep with you forever. Man, I got to work with Chad Boseman. Yeah. That's amazing, man. I know it was just that project you worked, with him on and everything like that. But when that happened to him, how did it affect you? When you first heard of his passing.
I cried for a couple of days, if I'm being very honest. I was still young at the time, so I was like, I just saw this man a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago. Yeah. I was in Georgia at the time. I was like, wow, it's not real. Didn't know what happened. Didn't know really what his situation was because the man was always smiling. So you never know what somebody goes through. But I was definitely hurt. I was definitely hurt. Yeah.
Would you say have you like you said, you're only 17 right now, right?
17, yes,
have you had to deal with this was one thing, right? Someone who you acted with, but besides this, have you had to deal with a hardship, in life that you had to overcome, yet outside of something like this?
Yeah, I would say just going back into school, I wouldn't say I fell into a depression, but it was definitely hard navigating what I was doing and not being able to work every day or stuff like that. Honestly, it was just really that. I mean, I lost a few family members down the line that I really loved and stuff that was in the cars, like my Uncle Butch. He loved cars. I was always in Alabama looking at his trucks and stuff. Yeah, it was definitely hard. It was stuff like that was hard, but you got to overcome it, so.
Yeah. Would you say, I remember earlier you talked about, having faith and everything. Would you say when you went through those times, you was able to lean on your faith in those hard times and everything?
I had to believe in the Lord because it was just why take them? But the Lord doesn't do anything on purpose or for no reason at all. So I knew he had a plan on why he took those people. He's not going to do anything just to, just to do it. Excuse me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to really believe in you. I'm not finna steer away from you. I'm going to really believe in, I trust you.
Yeah. Man, you very mature for your age, man. It takes a lot of people, most people, a long time to really get to that place. Even if they say, yeah, I believe in God, to get to a place where they okay, I have trust and faith in God. And if I go through a hard time in my life, I'm going to turn to him. I'm not going to just, deal with the anger in a way where it start making me feel depressed and lonely and sad. And I go out there and do something that I shouldn't be doing. Yeah. You nah, I'm going to give it all to him.
Yes, sir.
And for you to understand that at 17, that's big. That's big, man. You ahead of the game. I'm letting you know that right now.
Yes, sir.
You way ahead of the game. So that's what's up. So eventually y'all got back to Shameless, right? After the pandemic and everything. So what was this, around 2021, right?
2021, yeah.
So what was it like now filming? This is your second season. Mm-hmm. What place were you in life, and what was it like getting back started?
I was young, doing the COVID testings every day, every other day. Had to wear a mask around everywhere. Couldn't really be next to people. Had to be 6 feet. Only time I really got to see him was on set because we couldn't wear masks. So It was definitely interesting. What else? Let's see what happened. Yeah, that was really it, honestly.
So in this time, people weren't able like to work together the way you guys were working together before during season 1, right?
Literally, maybe I'd be like, hey, Shinola, can I try that, please? Like, Miss Shinola, can I get a sip of that? Oh, Jeremy, what you eating? Let me get a bite. It wasn't none of that. It was, we're going to look at our lines, and we'll talk with our mask on from afar, but it wasn't like, oh, yeah, let me do this, let me do that. We weren't really, like, necessarily together, like, close as we were.
Wow. Okay, wow. So after that, so how many more seasons did y'all do? Was it just that season? Or you did one more after that?
We went to 11 seasons.
11, okay. So you did 3 total seasons?
4.
4.
4.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
Yes.
Out of all of those seasons, what would you say was your favorite?
That's a hard one. I think the first season.
Oh, okay.
It was like during summertime.
Yeah.
I was working every day. It was just happy I was young, doing everything. Went to Chicago, had fun. I loved it.
Yeah. Was it tough when it was finally, 4 seasons and now it's kind of like done? You didn't build a family hood with these individuals, right?
It was like losing family. It was like losing family I've seen every day of my life. Everything they're going on with me, they know what's going on. I know what's going on with them. So it was hard. It was definitely hard. I was just like, wow, like, it's over. It took me a minute because I was like, we'll be back. Yeah. We'll be back. And then we weren't back for 2 years, and I said, okay, it's time to move on. Like, that's in the past. There's more things. That wasn't my peak. I'm not done yet. That was just, that was just something that I did when I was younger, and it blew up. I got plenty more life to live, so, yeah.
And a dope head start, still be under 18, and this year you turn 18?
I turned 18 this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, like, what better head start can you get in this industry, right?
Yes, sir.
So, that's what's up. One thing that I heard about you, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, is that you're a really big gamer. When it comes down to, like, gaming, do you, like, enter tournaments or something like that? Or what is it, like, about gaming that is really something that is serious when it comes down to you?
I'm very competitive.
Okay.
So I'm always want to win in something. Like I said, when we played Warzone, that was a new game that just happened that started like that. It was very military based. So it wasn't anything, that people knew about. It was new. Loved it. Kept going. Just played that a lot. Very competitive. You always had to win out of 52 teams. You had to win. So we lost countless hours of our lives losing, but we finally got the hang of it and played militant. Then got into NBA 2K around 2K20.
Okay.
No, 2K17, 18, 19. 19 I really started playing, like, for real. 2K20, I got my squad. We played 3v3. And then
nice.
I just kept playing. Then I'd wager, like, my friends and stuff, but I never got into real big tournaments, like, across the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
And you play with all creative players, or do you use some of the NBA players on your squad?
I use some of the NBA players, but I get my own creative players, 6'2", 6'5", 6'6".
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. When you playing with the players, who you using?
I'm not gonna lie. I go all team 2007 Lakers.
Okay. Man.
I'm gonna go Lakers.
I was gonna say you got Kobe in that mix, right?
Yeah, I got Kobe in the mix. I got Lakers, but now I'm using the all team Lakers now with LeBron. I got Kobe, I got Shaq, and I got Luka.
Yeah.
Team.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, we banned that team. Every time my friends play, let's play now.
Yeah.
No Lakers.
Man,
no Lakers.
Man, nice. In 2007 is when Kobe averaged like 35. I believe that was that year when he had that MVP taken away from him. Dang, that's when you was born.
Was that
when you was born?
That was when I was born. Was that when?
I know you. Wow.
Who took it?
I'm like, hold on. What's going on right now? I'm over here talking about my favorite Laker year. You like, no, well, that was when I was born.
But that's the best team. I think, who took that from in that year? When did AI get in the league? AI took it from...
AI was 97. But this is when, like, Shaq left the team and Kobe was,
by himself
on the rise.
How
do you even know what was going on during this time, man? You were just born.
Nah, I definitely watched old tapes, I had to watch old tapes for sure.
Yeah.
This was... Who took it from that year? Can't remember.
You talking about the MVP?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Nash.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He got that back-to-back MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a good... I wouldn't say that was a good year because... I was 1. But that was a good year for basketball because all teams that year, there was a stacked lineup. They was hooping back then.
Yeah, but you was able to see the 2009-2010 championship Lakers though. You was clear. You was here. Yeah.
Was that the three-peat?
With Gasol, the back to back.
Yeah. No, that was.
Yeah, you missed out on the three-peat, man. You missed out on that.
That was a minute.
Yeah, that was what 2000, 2001,
I didn't really
2002.
I wasn't really in basketball that much, but
Yeah.
I knew about it. It was crazy though, cause man, when they did Team USA, they was button heads. That's when I remember that because that was later, way later. That's what I really remember when they had LeBron came in the league. LeBron was crazy. You had Cole. You had what's his name?
Yeah, that USA team was dope.
Yeah,
the
tall
Redeem
dude.
team.
The Redeem team.
Yeah. Kobe, LeBron, D Wade, Melo, all on the same squad.
Yeah, and the other Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
I think
Bosh.
was on that team.
They had a squad, man.
No, it was nice.
Yeah,
it was nice. I'm not gonna lie. To see them play, I don't think there's enough money in the world to get them all on the same team back then.
Nah,
they was all max
that's too
contracts.
much.
Yeah.
but you had LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh though.
Yeah, that little superstar, little three superstars, but Cole, man, he was different.
Yeah,
He was
definitely.
different.
Yes. I mean, and that's what matters. As long as you're a Laker fan, hey.
I'm not a Laker fan.
Hey, you say you're not a Laker fan.
I'm not.
So you a Kobe fan.
I'm a Kobe fan.
Okay, so what NBA team do you like? An NBA team? And I'm hoping it's not who you gonna say because you are in California. Do you like an NBA team?
I do.
What team is that?
Golden State.
Okay.
And we not going.
I give them a pass. I was like, as long as you don't say Clippers, don't say Clippers.
I'm not a Clippers fan. I'm not a Clippers fan.
Please don't say Clippers.
I know everybody be like, "You from LA?" Be like, "Yeah." What's your favorite team? They be like, "Don't say Clippers. Don't say Clippers." I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna say the Clippers, but I'm gonna go to State fan." They be like, "Oh, you're a bandwagon."
Yeah,
I'm not a bandwagon.
Now that's your era. I give that to you because that's your era.
Mm-hmm.
You was young when they started winning, so you still young enough to, hey, this is my squad. You know,
I was.
So
I was Golden State, Mavs, and Houston.
Okay.
I was a Houston fan. I was really a James Harden fan. He never moved that fast at all.
Yeah.
He was just tween, step back, the little legal step back, the travel.
Yeah.
That was around the time I really got into a fan of him.
Nah, James nice. I always say after Kobe, to me, he's the third greatest, shooting guard, ever to play. You got Jordan, Kobe, then I would say James. I'll put him in front of D Wade. I would personally.
I say that. I can say that for sure. I can say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
That's what's up. A little basketball talk.
Yeah, just a little bit.
One thing that I wanted to bring up because I thought this was amazing. You're the founder of King Legacy, which is like a brand inspiring young men and women to dream big and believe in themselves, right?
Yep.
What got you to start that? Most adults are starting things to like group people together. What made you get into starting, something like that?
Honestly, the slogan "Dream, Believe, Inspire" was really just believe in yourself, inspire others, and just dream big. Don't limit yourself to, I could be a guest star. No, say I'm gonna be a series regular. Like, don't always dream big, believe, and inspire others to do the same path or just grow as themselves. And I was like, when I was young when I made the name King Legacy. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna definitely revamp the clothing brand, but I really want to start that early.
Yeah. That's dope. What would you say right now when it come down to, your brand and acting and everything? What is like a goal you have set, coming up, for yourself?
For the clothing brand, revamp it, get new stuff, new shipment, clothes, pants, hoodies, shirts, and then for acting wise, be number one on the call sheet for a movie.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Be numero uno on a movie. Like, I'm starring it. Every other scene, you're gonna see me in a huge movie.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So you ready to do
I'm prepared.
Consistently do the movie thing now?
Yeah,
That's
I really
dope.
like the movies, but I'm TV show, anything come my way, I'm ready. I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
Series regular.
That's what's
Ready.
up. That's what's up. One thing, one of the last things I want to ask you is, you have a lot of young kids, 8, 9, 10 years old. You see it all the time who, they get on social media just so they could show their acting ability, and everything like that, right? And you know, like I said, you've done it. You've been there. You know, what advice you would give to some of these young kids out here who really want to act? They don't really have no direction or understanding of what to do and how to do it, but they really want to do it. And they may look up to someone like you. What advice would you give them?
I would say don't take no for an answer. You're going to hear no's, but don't say like, if your parents say no, you can't do it. You can. If they just don't believe in you, that's fine. Tell them, hey, can you just take me over here, please? Just let me do it myself because I believe in myself. Just believe in yourself. You're going to have people try to knock you down for something or laugh at you. So many people on Instagram or TikTok going to say, oh, he's terrible. Nobody's perfect and nobody's the best at their craft. There's people that are amazing at it, but nobody's the greatest at it. Everybody always going to take a losing or a stump or a losing streak in life. So just keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up.
Man. Shoot, I'm not taking a no after that. What about you, moms? I'm not taking a no after that one right there. Man, hey, like I said, you really, and I don't say this a lot, and I really mean it, and I'm not just saying this because you hear. You are very mature for your age.
I appreciate
17. Like, when you talk, like, you look young, right? But
yes,
when
sir.
You talk, you do not sound 17 at all. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, and like I said, that's good because a lot of people could look up to you moving into the future. This next generation need some young leaders because you see so many young people going into the wrong direction. So they need some young leaders who faith is going in the right direction, but also been there and done that already. That could say, hey, this is how we need to be moving. They need that because, you know, my generation, our generation, we need to sit back a little bit and let y'all do y'all thing, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, so yeah, man. Like I said, I really, I could say I'm proud of you as a older, you know, black man. I can look at you and say I'm proud of who you are as a young black man, and I look forward to seeing what you got going on in the future.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Definitely. One last question I always like to ask before I end the show: what does nothing to something mean to you?
Nothing to something.
Yeah.
I would say, wow. Not necessarily getting a handout, but working from the ground all the way to the top. Honestly, just not having a base or a status in the beginning and working to something past anything that you could have ever imagined. I would say that's what nothing to something is. Just, honestly, growing to be something better than nothing. Literally.
Yeah. Nice. Wow. Hey, I love it. You know, Christian, this was amazing, man.
Thank you so much.
This was great. I'm glad we got to chop it up and get your story. Yeah, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you got coming up next, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Man, appreciate it. All right. It's your boy Paul P, Christian Isaiah. We love you all. We out of here. Deuces.
I had to show 'em that I'm